on a limb and assume that you've heard of Ancestry DNA and 23andMe. They're really trending right now. DNA kits are becoming more and more popular, allowing people to learn more about their own personal genome. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows that I'm a huge fan of DNA testing. Absolutely love it, but probably for a lot different reasons than most people. If it wasn't for genetic genealogy, I would not know who my biological father is. That's not what this video is about, though. There's been a lot of information circling about the dangers of DNA testing. Woo, scary. And I just wanted to take a minute to address some of these paranoias. So the first one is that people keep saying they don't want to hand their DNA over and that the government just wants their DNA. If the government wanted your DNA, don't you think they'd figure out a way to have someone follow you to the coffee shop or dig through your trash and get it? I mean, if they really wanted your DNA, I'm pretty sure they'd have it by now. The other big concern I see is health insurance. People are like, oh, if I find out that I have something wrong with me, then I'm going to lose my health insurance, blah, 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 blah. Well, first of all, just because you have a gene doesn't mean it's going to be expressed. You can carry a gene and not have the disease. It's not a big deal. I mean, I have several genes that are associated with prostate cancer, and I'm just going to give you a little hint that I'm not at risk for prostate cancer, I promise. People also get paranoid about the legal implications of having your DNA on file. Like, oh, they're going to trace my DNA to some crime scene and go knock on Ancestry's door and take my DNA and decide I committed a crime. Well, first of all, if you keep your nose clean, that shouldn't be a concern in the first place. Second of all, this kind of DNA testing isn't admissible in court. It has no chain of custody. I've done 8 legal DNA tests, and every single time I had to get fingerprinted. I had to be photographed. I had to have multiple forms of ID. There's a chain of custody, and I wasn't even allowed to touch the swabs. But for an Ancestry DNA test, I could swab my next door neighbor and register him under my name, and no one would ever know. So if you're really concerned about that part, just register with a fake name and a fake birthday. No one's ever going to know it was you. And identity theft. I have heard people tell me this one, like, oh, I'm not going to get a DNA test because of identity theft. Well, last I checked, I cannot take your gum off of the park bench and pull out a credit card with it. Lastly, people are worried about letting people use their DNA for research or being sold off to other companies. Why are we so afraid of research? Are you concerned that your DNA might help improve someone's life or find a cure for a disease? Are you worried that your DNA might be a critical component of improving modern healthcare? So yeah, there's a lot of paranoia around DNA. If you're concerned, register with a fake name. But reality is, if the government wanted your DNA, they'd have it. If the health insurance companies wanted your DNA and your genetic health data, they'd require you take a test before they cover you. It's just a lot of paranoia, and there's not much to be worried about. And the bottom line is, the benefit of DNA testing greatly outweighs any of these very irrational, never-founded paranoias. You have the power to not only enlighten yourself about potential health complications you may have, but learn about your history and potentially help someone like me along the way.